Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Jessie and this is Playful Moon Tarot. Welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time stopping by, welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to all of my new subscribers. I see you. Thank you so much. We are going to be doing some Lightworker Oracle cards today, as well as the Work Your Light and Tarot, so we'll get into your readings. Hello Group 1 and welcome to your reading. We are going to pull a Lightworker Oracle card to see what the overall messages are, and then we're going to pull some tarot. So messages and alignment with everyone's highest good. Messages of love and encouragement, please. So divine talents. Okay, and let's pull some tarot to clarify the message. Okay, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys, even if you guys aren't subscribed and are watching the video. Thank you so much for being here. Messages and alignment for Group 1's highest good, please. Messages of love and encouragement. Oh boy. Okay, hold on one moment. Let me go get those. Okay. So we have all right, so we have the Ace of Swords. We have the Five of Cups. We have the Six of Cups. We have Judgment. We've got the Knight of Swords, the Devil, and Four of Swords. And I'm feeling two more cards, please. Two more cards for Group 1. Messages in alignment with everyone's highest good, please. That one? And top one. Okay. All right. And Temperance and the Fool came out. Okay. Which makes a lot of sense because this Ace of Swords, it's like, bam, new ideas, new beginnings. So there's definitely some emotional turmoil going on right now for you guys. And there's a period of rest. So you guys are either, for some of you, you guys are just about ready to or are in a rest phase right now. And there's been a sense that something has been lost. There's not emotional fulfillment going on right now in this certain area of your life. Like they just like took a light and like narrowed it very, very down and very specific. So for each individual, whatever it is that is so specific is going to be unique to each of you. But there's definitely a sense that this is talking about like one specific pinpoint in your life right now, one particular idea, one particular situation. And the reason I say idea is because the Ace of Swords is, the swords are all about the mind. So this is like a new thought, new thinking, a new something coming in here. And there's a sense that that was sparked because something was lost. You guys are kind of going through that rest phase right now and kind of like a rebirth. And that allows you to really connect with this. And I feel like this Divine Talents card is talking about what you have to offer. There's a sense that you want to offer something to the world. You want to, and that's going to be different for everybody. And how that shows up, either you want to create art or you want to maybe do like tarot readings or something new, something that might be new to you completely. Like maybe you've thought about it before a lot, but this feels like a whole brand new path to you guys. One that you haven't really stepped down before. And I feel like there's also a sense of kind of like holding yourself back a little bit, just because the devil does kind of talk about keeping us and some of those old energies that we are maybe outgrowing, maybe not eating the right foods, maybe not thinking the healthiest thoughts, right? So there's a sense that with these divine talents coming in, it's not something that you've necessarily gone down that path before. There's a real sense of like a real true new beginning. Now, not to say that those ideas weren't necessarily like circulating or that it didn't pique your interest before, but now there's a sense that you want to take some action and kind of go forward with it, because I feel like this night here, he's going to start going after what he wants, he or she. And there's a sense that you will really just need to trust this path, trust where you're going, trust the next steps. It can be blind faith, but it's not to say blind faith. It's not to say that you don't have some type of like grasp on reality, right? It's just, it might take a little bit of that extra faith in yourself to know that this is your calling. This is what your soul is wanting to experience next. And it might seem really scary to let those old ideals, old thoughts, old beliefs fall away. But there's a sense of really releasing that up to source, releasing all of the things that you can't quite process. And it will like bring this balance. It will help to kind of bring this balance about, because these two cards are really feeling like a sense of balancing is going to come through for you guys. There's going to be a sense of emotional fulfillment with this new path that will unlock very magical things in your life, is the feeling that I get. There's that, and they're saying to spread your wings. So in the background, he actually has those wings. So they're saying to spread your wings right now. And they want to like really emphasize kind of that spirit coming up and kind of flying and being free. And then the wings on this person, like flying and being free. There's a sense of that freedom, chasing after that freedom and that new idea. And so the Divine Talents card, I want to actually read the message from the book because they have very specific messages. So I'm just going to read what I feel called to read. So Divine Talents, I'm like, what are you guys trying to bring in? I mean, it's obvious he's like playing a musical instrument, right? So for some of you, it could be music, but there's a sense that you want to create something that's just really beautiful and share it with the world. And that is, again, it's like something that you've been thinking about, and it's something that your soul has come down here to experience. It's like your gift to give. So you are a talented soul. Over many lifetimes, you have developed your spiritual abilities to channel higher awareness, attract healing energy, and radiate light to uplift the consciousness of those around you. Your divine talents are many and uniquely expressed through you. Your talents do not have to resemble those of another to have their own inestimable, I'm not saying that right, inestimable value. Do not be afraid to use them. So divine talents are a way in which the universe reminds us of what we are here to do. Divine talents are unlimited. They include the ability to channel spiritual guidance and healing energy, to perceive clairvoyantly, and be psychic and empathic. Our spiritual talents are the ability to release earthbound spirits, earth healing techniques such as working with energy grids, as well as healing ability with crystals, and the many and varied technologies of light. These are other spiritual talents too. There are other spiritual talents too. These include writing, performing, sound healing, dancing, creating art, photography, divinely inspired tools, and jewelry. Cooking food that heals the body and is a spiritual talent, as are the abilities to bring people together. to offer comforting and inspiring words at the right time to help others overcome fear and feel more at peace in the moments of importance. And that's why that there was such a wide variety. It's like you even doing just what you are called to do, even if that's like caretaking for elderly people, or, it doesn't have to be necessarily, geared towards the spiritual community. Even people that bring healing to other people, taking caregivers and stuff like that, that's also very much in the Lightworker sense, in my personal opinion. And caretaking, providing support for people, being there, even just being a really great friend is a really great talent to have. And there's a sense that you guys, there's so many different talents out there. So it's hard for me to kind of say like, you will take this direction, because there's so many different ways that you guys can all go. And I feel so many different people's energy within this reading right now. So whatever it is that new idea is calling to you, what your soul is telling you to do, like, see how she's just going to kind of fall backwards, but this pool of water is going to catch her. That's the kind of, in a sense, blind faith, but in a sense, like knowing that you're supported too. Being real about what you can do right now to take those steps forward, but having that faith that you're being supported, you're being guided, you're being loved. This is something that you want to do. Okay. It can be really scary to take those steps, but this is definitely the universe and spirit saying, yes, take those steps. So I'm going to pull a Work Your Light oracle to kind of see what, like, the activation, the action, some encouragement, see what the messages are here. So messages in alignment with group one's highest good, please. And relationships, like, some of you guys might need to, oh, you get two cards? Okay. Some of you guys might need to let go of some relationships. There might be some shifting of things that need to take place in order for the new to come in. But know that when those things happen, we are being divinely guided. Sit with yourself, give yourself that comfort, give yourself that time. That's also why the rest, the Four of Swords, so I call it the rest card, is also here. Take time to nourish yourself, okay? Like, heal the wounds that you have. And not that you can just, do that in overnight, but spend some time really allowing yourself to integrate to these new things that are coming in for you. And so one of the cards is play. It says, have fun, celebrate, and don't be so serious. And unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. And I really feel like with this past life stuff and this unbound, it does tie into some of those old belief structures that our society has put on us. And so, like, under the, being brought up maybe in a certain way, if you didn't agree with it, if it doesn't resonate with you, realize too that, we're all born under this structure, and some of us, are starting to awaken and understand that there's other ways. And some of us have a hard time understanding that there's other structures that can work just as well, if not better, for everybody. So just because somebody else might not understand this, it doesn't make them any less, right, of a person. They're still a person. They still have thoughts and feelings. But sometimes it's hard to accept the new ideas and the newness that's coming in, okay? So the play card, stop taking life so seriously. Your spirit needs to have some fun. The more you play, the more inspiration will follow. Take some time out to do something without being attached to the outcome. You are being called to rest and play and learn to have more fun. Do something that makes you laugh, the best medicine around. Call up a friend that you can be silly with. Take your inner child out on a date. The more you switch off your mind, the more room your spirit has to whisper and guide. When we do things without being attached to the outcome, ideas Clarity, guidance, and solutions have the space to drop in. The left and right hemispheres of the brain can begin talking to each other. Make play a compulsory part of your day. Schedule it. Spend more time doing things just because you love to do them, just because they bring you joy and light you up. If you follow what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. For when you are lit up, you are in spirit, and when you are in spirit, you fall into flow with life. How do you play? What do you have fun doing? And what lights you up? If you have been working hard lately, it's time to celebrate how far you have come, all that you've achieved. Don't rush on to the next thing. Take a moment to throw a party, go on a vacation, or have some fun. And the Unbound card. Sorry, they're grouped into, okay, they're grouped in, so it's not like a numbered card that actually gives me a place to go right away. Okay. 94. So here we go. So the Unbound card is talking about releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So it is time to release old soul stories that have been playing out in your life. They are coming up to be healed. There has never been a safer time to clear these patterns than right now. Take a look at patterns in your life that you are ready to release. Ancient vows and contracts that your soul made that have an expiry date. It can be a vow of silence or chastity or poverty. It is time to unwind from them. This is the life in which you free yourself from trauma and lives past. What old ways of being have an expiry date? When you name them, you claim them, and they stop holding power over you. When acknowledging these old patterns, it is important to acknowledge how they have served you up until now. For example, a soul pattern of playing small caused by soul fear of being seen or sharing your voice would have served you by keeping you safe. In order to grow, you now need to soften by receiving and calling in support. It is time to unbind from the old ways of being that are no longer sustainable. And I feel like as a collective, we're also learning these things too, right? Like I said, old structures. So, for example, because I have a lack of a better example that comes to mind right now, your parents maybe are a little bit more rigid spiritually, or maybe they're not spiritual, and maybe they seem to kind of fall into the old paradigm, and you have come down here to try to help bring in the new, right? And so even your parents kind of don't quite understand where these ideas that you have are coming from, or this part of your soul. And that's why I'm saying, don't blame them, don't be mad at them. And this is something that just kind of recently came across my path too, not personally, but just from watching and observing. You know, sometimes people just, they're doing the best that they can, and they have a harder time opening up to newer possibilities, newer ways of thinking. And so don't hold it against them in that sense that it makes them lesser because they can't understand maybe where you're coming from. And for some reason, I'm just feeling really called to say that. So I don't know if that's a very personal message for somebody out there, or if this is more with this group collectively for group one in this reading. But there's a sense that there might be some frustration or some more stronger emotions around structures that you feel like you are under right now. And I just really encourage you to try to soften a little bit and understand that they were taught a certain way, and it's really hard to unlearn things, especially when we feel like we've been living in that paradigm and we see the proof of that with our own eyes. If they don't have like proof yet that these other ways can exist and that these other ways can be just as good, right? If not better than the last one, the last paradigm, the old structures, try to just give them a little bit of grace. And it, like, collectively, like on a collective level, what's coming into mind right now is kind of that like boomers versus like millennials versus, there's like, some understanding that needs to happen there. And so whoever that message is for, I hope that helps. And I just want to take a moment to send a little bit of Reiki energy your way, and then I'm going to pull a trinket. So for anybody that wants a little bit of Reiki energy, just say yes, and I'm going to have my guide send it to you in tune with your highest good, just to help kind of balance that out a little bit. And now I want to pull a trinket. Okay, and so a little key has popped out. And they're saying that you hold the key to that transformation inside of yourself. And that's the place you can unlock, is what you hold inside of yourself. Okay. And so those are the messages for group 1. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe if any of that resonated with you. And as always, love yourself, trust yourself, and believe in yourself. Until next time, guys, take care. Hello, Group 2, and welcome to your reading. I'm going to go ahead and pull a Lightworker Oracle card to see what kind of the overall messages are, the overall energy, and then we'll pull some tarot. So messages in alignment with Group 2's highest good. Okay. So spiritual decree, and you guys are actually going to get a second card. Merkaba, spiritual protection. And right away, I'm getting a sense that for the people that are drawn to this reading, I feel like you guys are kind of in like the more beginning stages of your awakening, coming into your kind of, light worker self, so to speak. And the reason why this like protection has come out, and it's like the Merkaba is talking about your energy. And what I'm feeling right now for you guys is, in the beginning, sometimes when we are learning to meditate, learning to do astral projection, learning all of those kind of magical energy working stuff, it's really good to make sure that our space is sacred where we are practicing, because it's really easy to, when we go into those spaces, if we don't kind of protect our energy, we can get hijacked. And I don't want to say that to scare people, okay? I'm just saying be mindful, because we open ourselves up, right? So when we open, just any old thing can come in if we don't set the right parameters. So when I call in my guides, I have certain parameters that I use. I want them to be in the light, I want them to know me, and I want them to love me, okay? Those are kind of my 3 foundational. And then anything else that feels right to you, you can say like, my guardian angel who loves me, that's in the light and they're, knows me, loves me. I want you to start to set up your space a little bit more like that. Call in your guides, call in Archangel Michael to help hold that space so that you can connect with your higher self and with your guides in a safer manner, and try to hold that space so that lower vibrational frequencies can't just kind of traipse right on in. Okay, set up some parameters around when you're meditating, doing any type of energy work on yourself, working with crystals, doing a tarot reading. Really set that space up to invite in only the beings that you want. So that is a very specific message for some of you out there. And so now I want to pull some tarot to kind of clarify the message. And the spiritual decree, I feel like you guys are really starting to accept parts of yourself. And there's like I don't want to say like a statement. What's another? Okay. I guess I just really feel like you guys are owning yourself and you're not afraid to start to share these parts of yourself. And okay, you want, okay, Star, High Priestess, Death, Ace of Coins. Okay. Whoops, Four of Chalices, Wand. Just clarifying with my guides which cards that they wanted. Okay. Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands, the Star card, the High Priestess, the Death card, the Ace of Coins, the Four of Chalices, the Ace of Wands, the Page of Wands, and the Empress. I feel like a lot of intuitive energy coming in. I'm feeling a lot of healers, like Reiki workers out there, energy workers, really stepping into your power. And maybe that's why that message was so... Okay. So, I wonder where the sadness is. I feel like some of you feel like you're doing something wrong. And maybe that's where that first message came in, because that was a very strong, like, message in the beginning. That was, and then I'm looking at this card and I feel like it's more than just, oh, I'm kind of like, I feel like you guys are feeling like you're doing something wrong and you're not. So whoever feels that way, this message is for you. You're not doing anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. It was just a learning opportunity. And with that, you're going to grow from that. And so there's a sense too, like, I mean, you guys got an ace and Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. I mean, my goodness, two gifts from the universe and one reading. Wow. This energy is really strong with you guys. I almost can't even speak because I'm like, okay, wow. Yeah, you guys are really, we got some really powerful healers up in here, and I don't think that you guys realize your own strength. Because your intuition is popping. I mean, things are, I feel like some of you don't know your own strength, don't know. And I feel like that's what this card is like talking about, is that you guys are starting to like come into that understanding. And so there's two new things coming in for you guys. So, and there's also a sense that with this, you are being divinely watched and you're being divinely guided. So the star is kind of talking about like when we're in this energy of feeling a little cut off, feeling a little in the dark, feeling a little lost. There's a real, like the stars like coming in, right? With these gifts, with these, hey, you have, you know, you have new things to look forward to. You have some, it's inspiration, and pentacles are earth. So it's the inspiration and then bringing it down here, right? Bringing it into actual physical reality. And the Empress and the High Priestess are really just talking about your guys's like wanting to nurture and also being very, very highly intuitive. I'm really getting a sense that you guys deep down within your soul have a sense that you know how to nourish, you know how to do things. Maybe not in this lifetime, but like I said, like deep down into your soul, this is like a new path for you guys. But at the same time, it's like you guys have like practiced this before. This has been something that you guys are doing. And there's a sense that you guys are going through a little bit of like a rebirth and renewal process right now, which is going to allow you to kind of take these energies and go forward, right? Like really step into that, where you are going to go out on like a discovery mission, because wands are all about passion, right? So it's kind of like this Knight of Wands over here. It's like he got his energy, he got his spark of creation, and now he's going to be able to kind of go out and carry that message, into the world. Whatever that is, like a Reiki healer, tarot, energy worker, just, and it doesn't even have to be a career, in the spiritual field. Again, caretakers, taking care of the elderly, taking care of children, interacting with your community in a caregiver role is also very much a light worker. You don't have to bring crystals and tarot cards to the occasion to be a light worker, to be using what your spiritual gifts are, which you came down here to give to this world. And I'm also hearing like grief counseling, like helping people deal with the loss of loved ones, of a pet, of old ideas. I mean, when we go through changes in our belief system and just energy shifts too, I mean, we kind of grieve that loss of ourselves, even though we know that it's for our own highest good, right? To kind of go through that process and shed those ideas and shed those ways of thinking that aren't serving us anymore. There's still a sense of our identity that is wrapped up in that, right? Even if that's not what we necessarily want to continue to bring forward into the world, there's still a sense that, you spent a certain amount of time living under that identity. Kind of like when we change careers. I've gone through that too. I'm very career and work driven. And so when I get into a career, I'm like, I identify myself with that label, right? And then when I go to shift careers, I almost feel a sense of like, well, I don't know who I am until I'm on that next path. And that's something that I've been working on as a soul down here, is to not attach myself to those labels so much. I don't have to have a label to have purpose. I don't have to have a certain title to have a purpose. And so for whoever that's for, you don't have to, your title, I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything, because it does have a meaning, but it's not your whole self. And this little Page of Wands, I love this one. He's like the little Peter Pan. He's just like, I love, like, you are just going to like go out there and carry your message and carry your inspiration and carry your light throughout the world. Like as you grow, as you start to step more and more and more into your power, into your calling, into your soul's destination, I just feel this sense of like, really going out into the community and it having a nice big, area of effect. So, for my fellow video gamers out there, good old AoE. Okay, I want to read a little bit from the Spiritual Decree card. So that's the number 41. And I just, because the book has some very direct messages, so I'm just going to read what I feel called to read. And then we're going to pull one more oracle card. So Spiritual Decree. You have been wondering what will happen in your next life. Now realizing how much power you have to decide that is for, wait, what is happening? Okay. Not realizing how much power you have to decide that for yourself. So what would you wish for and what would you have happen next? Are you willing to use your divine birthrights of free will, voice, and empowerment to set the cosmic wheels in motion? If your answer is yes, then it is time to speak your truth to the universe. Decree it, and you shall be it. And I feel like this is the beginning of like the journey for some of you, and not like necessarily day one. Maybe this is like stuff you've been exploring the last year or two, but it still seems pretty new for some of you. You guys are still kind of like learning new things. And so you don't need anybody's permission to experience this other than your own. So whoever that message is for, like you don't need anybody's permission to do what you want to do and what you feel called to do. So you have been praying for help and asking for a map and wanting directions. You are wise in the ways of the receptive, responsive approach to life. It is spiritually mature to trust the greater guiding power of the divine to direct your course, and yet the wishes in your heart are part of how that happens. Divine destiny is not something that just happens to you, but it is something that you co-create as a living spiritual being with free will and divine love beating in your heart. You are being honored for your ability to ask for guidance and wait for signs. You are also being asked to set intentions and develop faith in yourself, to trust in what your heart yearns for, what you love so much that you are willing to go through the discomfort of growth to see it come to life. And that's, I think, kind of like what the death card's talking about too, is that we have to kind of go into those uncomfortable spaces to let some of these things fall away that are no longer serving us. And the Merkaba spiritual protection card, let's see what the kind of initial messages of that are. So being open to receive is a way to gain empowerment, strength, and all manner of assistance. To enhance receptivity, it can be helpful to declutter and cleanse your energy field. This allows for that which is not rightfully yours to be shed. Sometimes this will include the disowned thoughts and feelings of others. When you release these thoughts and feelings, a spaciousness will grow within you. Then you can then receive many more of what is rightfully meant to be for you. You are divine in all ways. And for group 1, I feel like some of you might actually be called to the group 1 card too. Go ahead, and there might be some messages in the group 1 reading that might resonate with you. Might not be fully, but I feel like there's some stuff in there for some of you that were pulled to group 1 too, and you kind of might have been going back and forth and you said, I'll go card 2, but there might be something in group 1 for you guys. So that's also coming through. So an open, sensitive person can easily become energetically overloaded. From physical pain to emotional and psychological tension, an overload does not feel good. You may even feel like you are carrying others on your back or in your head. The added weight can drag you down and drag down your light vibration. It can drag you down into anguish, doubt, fear, or despair. Your inner vision, too, may be obscured by the overload. That can make it hard to discern what is yours and what belongs to another. Whether experiencing overload to your system is an unusual occurrence for you, or you have a tendency to absorb and process others' energy, common for healers, psychics, mediums, artists, and other sensitive people. You will benefit from a spiritual cleansing. Afterwards, you may feel less inclined to connect with particular people or work on certain ideas. Even if they seemed very important before the cleanse, this means that you are freeing yourself from others' input and discerning the true priorities of your own heart. That's why. Okay, I understand now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to understand your energies versus other people's energies. This is really important for sensitive people. And I did a video of Are You an Empath? Talking about this. So when we are empathic, we feel what other people feel. This is very important for you to understand, and it was very important for me to understand and learn too. We cannot process other people's energy. Okay, we can be there for them. We can be a good friend. We can sit there. We can give them advice if they ask for it, but we cannot process other people's emotions for them. Okay, emotions, energy. So what do you do? What do you do when you go to work and you've taken on that other energy and then you come home and you're like, ooh. So you do a cord cutting meditation. And I want you to look those up on YouTube. There's different apps that have meditations. I really encourage you to do a cord cutting meditation. Selenite is a great crystal to help aid with cord cutting meditations. And take your cord of your end, right? Because when we go out into the world, we just naturally, our aura is way out here, and we just naturally start connecting, okay? And so even throughout my day, I'll do kind of just simple cord cutting meditations just throughout my day, just to keep my energy. So I lovingly will cut the cords, and I visualize my cord ends that have attached to other people, places, things. And that's another thing. It doesn't have to necessarily be a living person. Structures hold energy, like buildings, office spaces, cars, everything that is a creation down here, that is down here, has an energy to it. And you connect with it as you go throughout your day. So you could even just walk into a building and take on energy that's just within that building energy structure, and it can bring you down. Okay. It doesn't have to be a person. And there's also a difference between how you feel your own emotions and how you feel other people's emotions. So if you're talking to a friend and they're going through a really like emotional crying session, you're going to feel that, right? And so I want you to notice how that feels in your energy system, their emotions, their sadness. When you're confronted with their sadness, how does it feel? Because when my sadness from my soul comes up in me and in my body and energy structure, it feels differently than if I'm sitting with somebody and giving them comfort and an ear, and a shoulder to cry on. Yes, I get sad and I feel those emotions, but I feel them differently as if they were my own. So now I know how to clear other people's energy, and then what's left for me is for me to process. So that's a real key point. And I encourage you to research that a little bit more. If you guys are interested, I can do a more in-depth video on that. And I was also thinking about doing my own like cord cutting kind of like guided meditation. So with that being said, I just want to pull a Work Your Light Oracle to kind of get this part of you a little bit activated, a little bit encouraged, a little message of love. So messages in alignment with Group 2's highest good, please. And so, Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. And I'm going to read just a little bit from the book and see, because I feel like there's definitely some inner knowledge that is going to be coming through for you guys that is just kind of buried deep inside your soul. So Akasha exists in the 5th dimension and the Library of Souls. All soul contracts, history, gifts, lessons, and more exist here. We each have access to this information of the past, present, and future and can tap into it at any time. While we have free will, there are also other points on the timeline of our lives that are predestined or pre-planned. Soul contracts or agreements that were made before incarnating. It could be a company you chose to work for, a relationship you plan to have, or a person you agreed to mentor or help. Whatever it is, know that it is divinely guided and will not pass you by. You are waiting for a sign to proceed. This card is it. You are likely living out an important part of your soul's journey, and you are exactly where you need to be. This is very exciting indeed. It is time to call in the support of your helpers, both in the physical realm and the spiritual world, to trust the signs coming, to take note of your dreams, to notice any feelings or visions that you receive, for you are tapping into the wisdom of the Akasha, and you are being given the go-ahead to proceed. So, setting up your sacred space. How are you going to make it sacred? How are you going to create that space where you can do your healing work for yourself, maybe help others in their healing? Kind of think about creating that sacred space and getting connected with those beings that are going to help facilitate that for you. And so I want to pull a trinket. Music. So we have the treble clef. So you guys, maybe sound, all of a sudden they're like sound healing. So sound healing for some of you, sure. Guided musical meditations too, and just music in general. I feel like listening to music is going to be very healing for you guys. but I also feel like it's going to help enhance your sacred space. Like using sound for you guys, for a lot of you that are drawn to this read, is going to be really important. So however music resonates with you, that's also part of either your healing for yourself, for others, creating a sacred space, clearing out spaces with sound healing. There's something in this that has to do with, music lighting you up, but also what your healing gifts are kind of geared towards. And not that that's the only healing gift that you have, but there's just a sense that it's a powerful, okay. They said it's a powerful note for you to play. Sorry for the pun. Just that's what they said. So I will leave it there for you guys. Thank you so much. If anything in this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, love yourself, trust yourself, and believe in yourself. Until next time, guys, take care. Hello, Group 3, and welcome to your reading. I'm going to go ahead and pull a Lightworker Oracle card to see what kind of the overall messages and energies are, and then we're going to pull some tarot and get into your reading. So messages in alignment with Group 3's highest good, please. I hope this message finds you well. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm truly grateful for you guys. This one. Seventh ray of ritual, order, and ceremony. So they're saying gateway. So seventh ray of ritual. I'm not really sure exactly what that means, but I'm feeling and hearing gateway, like seventh as being like some gateway for you guys to kind of go through. And let's see, let's pull some tarot. I'm very interested now. What is this ritual, order, ceremony? Are you guys like working with other, I feel like maybe there's like some real co-creation here, not just with spirit, but like maybe you are working with others. Oops. Okay. Messages in alignment for Group 3's highest good. Okay, thank you so much. Boy, your cards are talking today. That one. All right, hold on. I'm going to go get the other ones. Okay. So let's see what we have here. We've got the Hermit. We have the Chariot. We have 7 of Cups, 4 of Wands, oh, hello, 5 of Pentacles, and the Star card. I love the Star card. I kind of actually want 2 more. Well, there's 1. 2 more, please. One more. Okay, that one. Oh, you want this one too? Okay. Okay, never mind. You get 3. So you also get the 2 of Pentacles, the 7 of Pentacles, and Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So I feel like some of you are like, I'm really feeling like a business structure or like co-creating with people or opening up like a crystal shop or I don't know. I feel like a structure, but also like ritual and energy work. And I don't know what you guys are cooking, but for some of you, I'm feeling like this came from a place of not feeling loved and accepted. And I feel like you want to bring in something new that your soul wanted to have when you were a younger person. I feel like there's something that it's like when you were growing up, there seemed to be this like lack of like so like a lack of spiritual presence. Let's just say spiritual presence, meaning that maybe the people around you didn't share the same belief systems as you. And I feel like for this reading particularly, they keep showing me like a building and a structure in which like this is your dream. Like you wish you would have had this when you were younger. And so for whatever you guys are doing, I feel like it's coming from a place of love because it's like you wanted something like this when you were younger. And it doesn't have to be like a crystal shop. I'm just feeling more of like that kind of a vibe, but it literally can be anything. It could be a bookstore, it could be a plant store, something that if you would have found it would have made your heart really happy, and you felt like there was like a lack of these things in your community. And so it's like you guys got this inspiration and you guys are like charging forth with it, because this card and this card really just the energy around it is that like charging forth, opening up that business, getting a partnership, and not like necessarily a romantic partnership, but like a business partner, somebody that you co-create with. They just keep saying co-create, but not that you're not co-creating with spirit, but it feels more like a physical entity, like another person that you are co-creating with. And you guys are really building something that is meaningful and that will last and that should really be celebrated. I feel like it's a real celebration for you guys. Like you guys, this is like a dream come true because the star card's here. This is like a total dream come true, coming into manifestation, feeling maybe like you guys were kind of in the dark a little bit, because I feel like you had been juggling this and working towards it for a really long time, and you kept kind of having to like pause and take a break and kind of like rework it from a different angle or something along those lines. Like maybe you didn't fully step away or fully pause it, but like there was moments of like juggling and trying to figure out how you could make these things happen. Where were your other people, juggling maybe your job and then your other job, your job and your passion project, having to take a moment of pause, even though you're still working really hard towards it, maybe needing to go, okay, what do I have to do differently? How can I make this happen? And it did kind of require you to kind of go into your heart space, go down into your soul. But I feel like this also came from your soul. Like you go and you get more guidance from going into your heart space and going into your light and connecting with that part of yourself. But I feel like it's also, it just is so deep in your soul and in your heart space. I'm really curious to see what that spiritual way of the ritual and the order and the ceremony is, because I have no idea like what the book is going to say. So, but this is like, so look at all those pentacles. So look at all these pentacles right here. Sorry, opposite side. Still working with the camera angles. See how like down here it didn't have any color? And it's like you were down here and you were thinking and you were dreaming, and it's like in that moment it's like you were being led by your soul, even though you felt really cut off and you were like, what the heck? It's like it was taking time to like manifest all of these. And then it's like you found a way to charge forth and like connect with all of these beautiful ideas and like bring them down into the physical. Because the Ace of Pentacles, it's like you guys were able, and this might be a new business or a new-ish business. I mean, for anybody that's a small business owner, you know that the first 3 to 5 years is like really the seedling part of your business. So even if you're just a year or two into it, it's still fairly new, right? It's a very new thing that has just recently come in. But I feel like it's like you found it. It's like you found that the colored pentacles and you were able to like bring it into this. So congratulations, you guys. And if it hasn't come in yet, I mean, you guys are going to be doing that soon. I feel like there's, for those that maybe still are in the idea phase of this. It's on its way, but I feel like for most of the people watching this read, there's already kind of like a physical place that you go that you've, this new business that's coming in is like actually, because they keep showing me a building. And it's a very generic building, like a Monopoly building, but the reason they keep showing me a building is because I feel like this is like a real structure. Even if you guys are working from home and have an online business, there's still like a structure around it. You guys have a place, and for some of you, you guys have gone out and actually rented a building, rented a space, have your, your offerings there in the physical realm there. And then for some of you, it's online, but I feel like this is very structurally based. Okay, so the seventh ray of ritual, order, and ceremony. Let's see what this card says. I'm really interested. When the gift of the seventh ray enters your life, something new is being formed, something that will benefit your world. There may be an increased interest in magic, ceremony, and ritual for healing purposes. Resonating with high frequency violet light and the archangel Zadkiel, the seventh ray also helps transmute energy from lower to higher frequencies. It is a spiritual cleansing agent that allows the truth of spiritual freedom, empowerment, and choice to be seen and felt, restoring hope and joy to the heart. So the seventh ray is very active upon the earth at this time. All of humanity is being affected by it. The seventh ray is the push-pull between the old and the new, the life that has been and can no longer continue in that form, and the new life that wants to evolve from the old. It honors traditions and ancestral wisdom that serve new life. When the seventh ray enters your life, you are asked to balance your attachment to what has been with an openness to the new. It is time to fearlessly question what has been, honor what comes to hold value for you, and dismiss what no longer serves you. The seventh ray also creates form from invisible, intangible spiritual energy. These are the inspired solutions and synchronicities that seem to come out of nowhere. They are signs of the divine order happening. The seventh ray brings an alignment with the divine order, and the more you are willing to invoke and allow that energy to bless you, the more your life will align itself with the genius of creativity, solutions, and loving opportunities. The universe wants to bring you to this world. Wow. And I feel like, yeah, that place, like creating that place that you didn't have that you wish you had. Okay. So now I want to pull a Work Your Light Oracle card, just to kind of like a little mini activation, message of encouragement, kind of goes along with this message. So messages in alignment with group 3's highest good, please. Messages of love and encouragement. Top. You are already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. And I want to read a little bit from this book too. So sorry, this one, it doesn't have like it doesn't correlate with like the card number on like the page or anything. So, and it like breaks down into these different. So let's see. All right, here we go. I found it. So do not question things so much. You are on the right track. You are facing the right way. Stop overthinking it. It's happening, and you are closer than you think. You are exactly where you need to be, and things are moving at the perfect speed. Do not rush it. Now is not the time to be impatient. Now is the time to walk steady. There is no rush. What you are building is being built. What you have planted soon will blossom. With every new day, a new brick is being laid. You have come a long way. The foundations are steady. Now all that is needed is for you to trust and keep walking forward. If a thought that things should be moving faster enters your head, that is just your ego comparing your rising to someone else. Comparison is not your friend. Stay in your lane. Water your own garden, knowing that your time to bloom will come. And I think that why I said that too in the beginning, like where, for new businesses, small business owners, also like myself, it does take a long time, I mean, for some, for whatever reason, it can pick up and take off in the first year and boom, they're on their way. And for others, it's a little bit slower. And I just really encourage you to know that things will come to you in the right time. And, I have to tell myself that too, right? I have dreams of where I want this channel to go and my dreams to go, and I have to be patient too. So this is, a loving message from another person that's might be feeling that same way too, of kind of like, when is it, going to be my time to really rise to the level I hope to be to someday. And so just keep going, keep going. There's definitely a lot of love in this message for you guys, and you guys are definitely on the right path. And I feel like I should just show you this card so you can get the energy of it a little bit more. And you're one step at a time, one step at a time. And I do want to pull a trinket for you guys. So let's see what little trinket comes forward. And it's a little peacock. Like, so, don't be afraid to be, yourself, and don't be afraid to celebrate your, each little step and each little success. And don't be afraid to, show your beauty and advertise. Like they're saying advertise, not necessarily spending a whole bunch of money, but just like, don't be afraid to like put yourself out there a little bit more. I'm not necessarily saying like dropping a whole bunch of money in advertisements and stuff like that, but don't be afraid to just kind of like push a little bit more, make more connections, tell your friends on social media a little bit more, or, tell people, just spread the word of you is what they're saying. Like, it's okay to kind of take up space is what they're saying. So if anything in that message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that resonated. And as always, love yourself, trust yourself, and believe in yourself. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.